Alright, what's up you guys? I am here with the complete WWE Summerslam pay-per-view DVD collection. This is going to be a lot to get through, so I'm going to try to do this a little quicker than I usually do. So let's get right into it here. This is 1999 all the way to 2017. So, first up we have SummerSlam 99, an out-of-body experience. This was under the WWF name, obviously. And this was only the third WWF DVD released. You have the backing here, and a lot of these of course have their classic inserts. This one has a pamphlet insert. Some of the matches on here, I'm not going to go through the entire card obviously, but I'm just going to name a few of the matches. We had The Rock versus Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn. Test versus Shane McMahon. You have Kane and X-Pac versus Undertaker and Big Show. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H versus Mankind with Jesse the Body Ventura as a special guest referee. So there you have your cover there with Jesse Ventura. Always good to see. Next up we have SummerSlam 2000. You have The Rock on here twice actually. And you have like a shattered glass cover there. And a blue and yellow logo there. And obviously this SummerSlam is pretty much most well known for the first ever TLC match. And then we had Undertaker and Kane, Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. We had Shane McMahon versus Steve Blackman. And then of course The Rock versus Triple H versus Kurt Angle in a triple threat match. Show you the pamphlet there. Very nice artwork. Next up we have, and they all fell over. I'm probably just going to prop them over like that. Alright, so SummerSlam 2001, we have The Rock here. And this was during the Invasion storyline, obviously, right after WCW was purchased. And then we have very nice backing here. And this one does not include the inserts, unfortunately. It normally does come with an insert, though. But we have Stone Cold and Kurt Angle for the WWF title. We have Jeff Hardy and RVD in a ladder match. You have the Cruiserweight title, some tag team action, and then Booker T versus The Rock for the WCW Championship. Next up, we have SummerSlam 2002. A lot of people say that this is the greatest SummerSlam of all time, and I can't disagree. Kind of a cheesy cover, honestly. I think it kind of deserved a better cover than this. But we have The Rock versus Brock for the WWE Championship. And this was after it got the name change to WWE. Very cool spine there, though. And of course, we had Shawn Michaels and Triple H in their non-sanctioned match. Great match. Shawn Michaels' first match back in what would turn into a great WWE run. And then we have Undertaker and Test. We have Edge and Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle in a great opener. There's your disc art. Next up, we have SummerSlam 2003 with Sable. Kind of a cool design for the poster. And then you have your 2003 spine there. Kind of out of sync with the others, but I love what they did with that 2003 collection. We had a Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title. We had Shane versus Eric Bischoff, Undertaker versus A-Train, RVD and Kane, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. And of course you had your Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight title. Triple H defending that title. And that was only the second Elimination Chamber match. So, very cool. Alright, so, next up we have 2004. This is the original artwork. We have Chris Benoit down there, of course. I also do have the alternate artwork, where it's just JBL and Taker. And they took away that whole bottom panel. But yeah, this is a decent pay-per-view. We had the 6-man tag team match. We had Edge versus Batista versus Chris Jericho for the IC title. Booker T and Cena for the U.S. title, Matt Hardy and Kane, JBL versus Taker, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, and then Chris Benoit versus Randy Orton, and I dropped it. And that was kind of the forgotten world title match, where Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit to be the youngest world champion, taking away Brock's record, of course. Alright, next up we have SummerSlam 2005. Hogan versus Michaels for the first time ever and the last time ever. So we have a decent spine there. Alright, so we had Orlando Jordan and Chris Benoit. You had your ladder match for the custody of Dominic, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero. We had Matt Hardy versus Edge, Batista versus JBL for the world title, John Cena versus Chris Jericho for the WWE title, and Chris Jericho's last pay-per-view match. He actually had to sign an extension on his contract to appear. And then we have Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels. Very infamous match, you could say the least. Alright, next up we have SummerSlam 2006. One of my favorite SummerSlams. You know, it's not the best, but brings back a lot of memories. And we have Booker T and Batista for the world title. You had the McMahons versus DX. We had the ECW title, Randy Orton versus Hulk Hogan, and Hogan's final WWE match. Great I Quit match with Ric Flair and Mick Foley, Rey Mysterio and Chavo, and then Edge versus John Cena for the WWE title. Very nice disc art. It's like a little hypnotization swirl. Alright, so next up we have a Blockbuster exclusive, the SummerSlam 2-disc set. Biggest party of the summer, the SummerSlam of returns, of course. Returns of Triple H against King Booker, and then Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero. And then we also had Great Khali versus Batista for the world title, John Morrison versus CM Punk for the ECW title, the IC title triple threat match, and then Randy Orton versus John Cena to kick off their rivalry. And, you know, unfortunately this event, Taker was supposed to return, Edge was supposed to appear on the show. You know, this, unfortunately, was a victim of the Chris Benoit tragedy as, from a creative standpoint. You know, this was still lingering at the time, and as a result, we got a so-so SummerSlam. Alright, so we have 2008 here, the biggest blockbuster of the summer. You have Maria on the jet ski there. And then we have great artwork here. I always really dug this cover. There's your spine. And this is very good pay-per-view. You had Jeff Hardy and MVP. You had the Shawn Michaels announcement. John Cena versus Batista. CM Punk and JBL. Mark Henry versus Matt Hardy. And to make up for that awful match, you get the rematch on ECW. And then we had Triple H and Great Khali. And then we had your first PG era Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Edge. And this is also the last time we're going to see an insert in a SummerSlam DVD, unfortunately. Alright, next up we have SummerSlam 2009. This is when they completely revamped it and introduced the star logo. I prefer the S logo, but it is what it is. We had John Cena and Randy Orton again for the WWE title. Jeff Hardy and CM Punk in a TLC match. We had the return of DX against Legacy. You had Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler in a good opener for the Intercontinental title. So overall, decent SummerSlam. And this was the start of the Los Angeles years as we're getting into now. And then we head over to SummerSlam 2010. An infamous DVD cover. A lot of people just trash this cover. And this is probably my least favorite SummerSlam if I had to pick one. We had Kane versus Rey Mysterio, Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston, Sheamus versus Randy Orton, Big Show versus the Straight Edge Society, and then of course Team WWE versus Team Nexus. You know, I wasn't very happy about the result of that, but it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. So, just gotta move on. Alright, SummerSlam 2011. This was obviously during the summer of Punk. You had 2 world titles. Cena won it in the tournament. And then we had their rematch for Money in the Bank. We also had Daniel Bryan and Wade Barrett. You had a 6-man tag match. Christian versus Randy Orton. No holds barred match to finish off their rivalry. Great match. And then, of course, John Cena versus CM Punk with Triple H as a special guest referee. There you go. Discard. Next up, we have 2012. The Perfect Storm. And then we have a very nice spine there, very unique. So what we had here, we had Rey Mysterio and The Miz for the IC title. Sheamus versus Del Rio. Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler. CM Punk, John Cena, and Big Show in a triple threat match for the WWE title. And then Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, of course, in your main event to kick off their rivalry. Alright, so next up we have 2013. This is the only Blu-ray I have for this pay-per-view. But very good SummerSlam. This SummerSlam is phenomenal. We had CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. You did have your Inferno discount Ring of Fire match. Christian versus Del Rio for the world title. And then John Cena versus Daniel Bryan in a very good main event to kick off the Authority storyline. And then, of course, we have your spoiler cover of the Money in the Bank cash-in. Still an amazing SummerSlam. Next up, we have 2014. We have Brock on the front there. We have Stephanie McMahon there. She was in an I Quit match with Brie Bella. You have Dolph Ziggler as the IC champion there. You had Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. You had Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in a lumberjack match. And then Brock Lesnar versus John Cena in a very famous main event. And very good main event. And then beautiful disc art there. I really like that artwork there. Really love that. Alright, next up we have 2015. Getting into the later years here. We had Seth Rollins defending his titles against John Cena in a very good match up until the ending. And then we had, Neville and Stephen Amell versus Stardust and King Barrett. You have the New Day there. And like I said, you had your winner takes all match. And then we had Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. And this was the first of the 4-hour SummerSlams. So introducing the 2-disc sets now. So, decent pay-per-view. Nothing too special, though, in my opinion. Next up, we have 2016. This was after the second brand split. You have all your superstars up top there. 2 spoilers. Is what it is. But we had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins to determine the first Universal Champion. You had John Cena versus AJ Styles in a great match. We had, what else we have here? We had Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose for the WWE title. And then the main event was Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton in a very surprising finish. So, beautiful artwork there. Very well done DVD. And this one you got a Macho Man card as a bonus. Very cool. And finally, more recently, we have SummerSlam 2017. Beautiful artwork. I really love this. We had very packed artwork on the back here, too. Very well done. You had John Cena and Baron Corbin. We had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE title. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens for the US title. And then we had your 2 women's matches. And then, of course, we had your Fatal 4-Way, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe in a great main event. You have Finn Balor here, who also faced Bray Wyatt there. And very cool card. And then very nice disc artwork. Can't talk. Disc artwork, yeah. Disc artwork. 2 disc sets. And I'm surprised I was actually able to fit all this in under 16 minutes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this look back at the SummerSlam pay-per-views on DVD. I've been wanting to do this for a while now, but I figured I'd just wait until this one came out. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.